Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed online and at the cinema. From the kids who cry over almost every space movie, it's Sneople at the Movies. I'm Matty.
I'm Helena.
And it's just the two of us this week, and we're recording in Helena's basement, which is why I started laughing in the middle of the intro.
Yeah, the ceiling does creak sometimes.
There's only so much I could do about that.
It's okay. We will make it work. Yeah, we're both in the same room, which
What an awful idea that was.
Terrible.
Who came up with that idea?
It was me. Yes. I think it was more of a compromise of something we had just had to do.
Yeah.
Situation involved it. So it's okay. We'll never do it again.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Well, it's been almost a year and we still haven't done it, so it's kind of amazing we made it this far.
It's true.
What a weird thought that is. 1 year anniversary coming up in February. Mark it on your calendars.
Yay!
Yeah, so it's just Helen and I this week. We are doing a Helena birthday episode. We did one for Ezra, so now it's Helena's turn.
Yeah, my birthday is in 5 days.
Yeah, your birthday, I think, actually is the same day as the release date for this episode.
Is it?
Your birthday is the 17th?
It's a Tuesday, though.
No, it's actually the same day as Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's what I got mixed up about.
Easy to get confused.
Yeah, this is not a Star Wars episode because we already did one of those.
Same resonance. But But
it's related.
Yeah, we will have seen... Well, no, not by that time that episode comes out, but by the time of the next episode, we will have seen the new Star Wars.
Yeah, we'll talk about Star Wars on the next episode.
Yeah.
I think this episode will drop after we see Star Wars, probably.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Maybe before. Depending on when it just gets released. It doesn't matter. It'll drop on that day, is the important thing.
Yes.
Anyway, Star Wars.
Semantics.
How many of us have seen it? Speaking of things we've seen, let's hit that up first real quick before we get into the topic. So, main point that I don't share with Helena is... my roommate and I are borrowing her brother's Disney Plus, and she and I just mainlined all of The Mandalorian that is currently out.
Oh yeah.
And obviously I really liked it because it was basically built for me. It's a Western that takes place in space, and it's specifically Star Wars flavored. And those are all things that I love very much. So we both really enjoyed it. Both of us were like, yeah, no, that was definitely worth it. I'm excited for the new episode to come out tomorrow, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
How's the Baby Yoda content?
The Baby Yoda is better in motion.
Oh!
If you love Baby Yoda, still, wait till you see it in motion, because Amanda and I spent a lot of time being like, oh, baby napping, and like, oh, baby awake now. Oh, baby use force? Force baby. Baby use force. That was it. That was the whole time.
That sounds amazing.
Oh god, the puppetry work is very good. They use puppetry more than just Yoda. And it looks great. I love that kind of stuff.
I'm glad that they're doing that. And
yeah, for sure.
Which is kind of like, I guess, what they were doing with Last Jedi when they brought Yoda back. Spoilers for The Last Jedi. Like veering away from CGI Yoda as seen in the prequels. It's just it just makes more sense.
But man, they couldn't have done those sick flips to the puppet, could they have?
No, they couldn't have done his sick flips. But I think that what we paid for with the sick flips.
But
what's the economics metaphor that I'm looking for? I'm gonna lose it as I'm stupid and bad at math.
It's like the price of gold. It's gone down as time has gone on.
Yes.
When that movie was released, we thought, oh man, look at those flips, and now we're like, was it worth it? Were the flips really worth it?
It was fun to make bets on the horses, but in the end, we were poorer because of everything.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it long term. It was a bad investment.
It was a bad investment. Glad they decided to do it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think
when all's said and done.
I'm glad they did it once.
I want to be, if I were to go back in time, I would, and like kill somebody and take their place.
Not just take somebody's place, they have to die.
I would like, or trank them or whatever. I would like to be the person who suggested in the writer's room for, whichever one, Revenge of the Sith is when he does the sick flips, right?
Yeah.
For Revenge of the Sith, he like, what if, and hear me out. What if Yoda does a couple of, sick flips?
Just a couple of sick, nasty flips.
And this was around, this would have been after the Tony Hawk video game was out. So if he said...
I mean, there were many of them, but yes, continue.
But we're living in a post-Tony Hawk video game world, so if he said sick flips, they would have had a frame of reference for it.
If only... now, hear me out. What if we had Yoda do a 360 Christ stare?
Ooh!
With 2 lightsabers.
Jeff, that's really good.
Yeah, thanks, Peter.
Jeff and Peter. Names of our historical counterparts.
I wasn't thinking about... I said Yoda doing a 360 Christ stare, and then I really thought about it.
You can't give Yoda a skateboard. That's too much power.
Oh, shit.
What else have you watched?
I was gonna fucking say something else, and I've totally forgotten it.
What else have you watched?
Oh, man. Doesn't matter? Yes, it does. It does. It's very relevant. Last night, we watched Contact with a friend of the show, Madeline, and your parents.
Yep.
And then tonight, we watched First Contact with your parents.
Yes. Well, because I told
mostly
them
your mom.
what movies we were watching, and they are like, "Oh, we love both of those movies," and I was like, "I know you do because you showed them to me when I was a child." So they stayed to watch both of them because they love watching them.
They put up with us talking the entirety of Contact.
Yep. And making very, very rude comments about Matthew McConaughey.
We were very mean to him.
But it's okay.
But he deserves it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Also, tonight they put up with me making comments about the Video Game Awards, which happened tonight, and the 3 of you all looked at me like maybe I had grown 2 additional heads.
It's like...
You only looked at me like I had grown 1. They both looked at me like, there is not a word that is coming out of your mouth that is in a language I understand, except for Fortnite.
Yeah.
Which I said more than once. And your dad was like,
"Oh, yes.
I've heard of Fortnite." And I was like, "It's bad, actually." There's more nuanced things to say about Fortnite than it's bad, actually. Anyway, so that's what I've seen.
Cool. Dope. I believe I also watched Contact and First Contact, not for the first time. I believe last time we recorded, I was about to watch, or I said I was going to watch How to Train Your Dragon 3.
You hadn't seen it yet, but you're going to.
I have now watched it. It was fine. It was good. It made me cry a little bit. There's some things about it that I really like that I think that those movies do really well. I just think that, and I thought this about the second one too, I don't think that either of them have been able to quite live up to what was really special about the first one. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I spent money to buy the Criterion Collection edition of All About Eve, which I also watched, and it was amazing as always. So that was a rewatch for me as well. I also rewatched Before Sunset because I'm working my parents through all of the Before movies so that I can watch them and they can watch them for the first time. So we watched that one, and I watched Marriage Story as well on Netflix, and I quite liked it.
Okay.
The reason that I'm talking in this weird tone of voice is because the discourse around Marriage Story on Twitter has been so stupid and exhausting that I'm now even questioning, like, did I enjoy this? No, I did. I enjoyed this.
The memes are funny, though.
The memes are real funny when they're imposing dialogue into the one scene that some idiot Stan was like, look at this 2-minute scene that comes at the end of the movie out of context, and expected people to be sane and rational about it. Instead of being like, this is terrible, why are they doing this? This is exposition. And like, I don't feel like it's a movie that I need to defend overly much, as I think it's going to do very well this year. And like, I'm not interested in defending Scarlett Johansson in particular. But it's been really interesting to see. I don't know. As we were about to record, actually, I was scrolling on Twitter and came across somebody talking about it. of like people assuming that they are smarter than the media that they engage with and making assumptions about this entire movie after seeing a 2-minute scene from it, and being in competition with the movies that they see, or and trying to find flaws in it, which is something, I don't know. I think there's a lot more going against it than that in terms of the online-ness of it all, but it's just exhausting, and I'm remembering why I hate award season online so much.
Yeah, this is my first taste of award season was the Game Awards, and I'm like, oh, this is bad, actually.
Yeah.
Not excited for the build-up to that we legally have to participate in as film podcast people.
Legally, yeah.
I have to make lists for this now.
Yeah, I've already
started. I'm not excited.
I've already started mine, and it's pretty... I mean, I've started a lot of lists, but I have started the awards thing, and it's like, I don't want to go into, like, talking about liking Marriage Story and thinking, like, this is a competently made movie, like, a more than competently made movie with some, baggage to it, without people, calling me rude names online, which they won't do because I have nowhere near the popularity.
We don't have any clout, so
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
It's fine. It'll all be good, but I'm just pre-exhausted.
Yeah, no, I know, me too.
Which is why I just took a sip of wine.
Yeah, I'm not excited for the Star Wars discourse. I'm not stoked to come out of Star Wars and be like, saw it, and then... Because here's the thing, my thing with Star Wars, as I think we all know, is like, it's a Star Wars, I have difficulty seeing it as like a piece of craft. I think it is like, I've never seen a Star Wars there's very few movies in this life I did not get some joy out of, whether it was bad and I had fun or whatever. But it's Star Wars, and therefore I'm probably gonna like it, and maybe that's a big thing to say, but also I know I'm gonna be, I know myself pretty well. So I'm not excited to come out of the movie and have, like, dude bros be like, it was bad because women, ?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. All 3 of the sequels have had such a conversation about them, and I do not wish to participate, and I will be forced to. Upon the stage of the internet, I will be forced to participate. And that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, it's already started because of the...
It's
already started because of the comments that have come out about Last Jedi, and people are, like, re-attacking Last Jedi and Rian Johnson. And, like, look, I'm not also going to get in the gravy boat of, like, defending Last Jedi. My little gravy boat with the owl and the pussycat, defending Last Jedi from the mean 23-year-olds who are online and have Tumblr bogs.
Tumblr bogs!
I'm not changing that because that's more accurate. But it's so frustrating. There are people that I thought I blocked that, like, I make the mistake of going on there, and it's still these, like, why do you have to be so horrible about this? Like, it's fine to not like a movie, and
yeah, absolutely.
And Last Jedi, I think, in my personal opinion, does have some,
not my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah, that are worth critiquing in many ways, but they're so online about it all, and it's sometimes I'm like, do you have any, like, conceptual understanding of, like, interacting with people not on the internet?
And that's a bigger discussion about being young on the internet and, like, having spent so much time on the internet, and like, we're in a very nice position where we kind of get to have... Even we were a little bit young, I think, for the internet at times. But there are people who are younger than us. Oof, they are in a rough position, and I have a lot of compassion for that. And also, fucking What's His Bucket did say those things about, like, oh, Finn and Poe aren't gay, but don't worry, we gotcha, queers. Wink. And I'm like,
who said that?
I would rather die than have you say these things to me. JJ, I think. Where he's like, they're not gay, but... And then Oscar Isaac was like, man, that fucking sucked, huh? And we were like, you're a real one.
I like watching the video of him talking about how he would be kind of down for it, because he was like, yeah, me and John Boyega had chemistry, and I really felt like that was interesting. Is this the most recent one? Yeah, and where you can see, like, I mean, obviously it's because he's also gotten older, but, like, where it seems like he has visibly aged, having to deal with the threat of Disney snipers at his door.
Yeah, he looks a little downtrodden, I would say. And I'm like, yeah, you're a fucking real one.
You're a hero.
But no, literally, it was, I've seen I'm sure there's an interview somewhere that I need to actually, like, read to be more well-informed of. Mm-hmm. But the quotes I've seen are basically very similar to what they did with Endgame. That was, like, where, you know, don't worry, like, you know, there might be other queer characters, and it was that one fucking guy at the therapy session, you know? So I'm assuming we're gonna get another one of those heavy hits, and I'm like, I'd rather you didn't put anything at all in there. Rather than trying to, like, throw a jelly bean on the... Like, I'm sitting on the floor and you throw me a jelly bean and you're like, look, representation. And I'm like...
And it's a licorice jelly bean?
Yeah, and it's like, eat a dick. Eat a bag of dicks. Eat a penis fish. I don't care about you. Like,
don't bring the penis fish into this. They've done nothing to you.
That's true. That wasn't fair of me.
But be God's mistake and have to live on this earth
God's
with us.
least favorite child. Yeah, no, I don't want these... It feels patronizing. That's what it is. It feels patronizing.
And it's frustrating watching this discourse go around with, you know, people like attack Rian Johnson for, you know, the past couple of years, and then kind of treat J.J. Abrams as this savior who's going to come and, you know, I don't know.
I haven't forgotten the second Star Trek reboot movie, JJ.
Exactly.
I have not forgotten your crimes, JJ.
This is the guy who did say, like, you know, he's given me some good things since then, but this is the guy who said, oh, yeah, we put the scene of the pregnant woman giving birth to Kirk at the beginning of the first Star Trek reboot movie for an emotional core for, you know, the wives and girlfriends who were being dragged to see Star Trek. And I have not forgotten that he said that. And so, I mean, you know, people say things, and sometimes those things are stupid, and they don't have to, you know, suffer eternally for them. But the idea that we didn't kind of all see this coming, and that Disney would somehow, you know, be out there repping for... I mean, it's the same kind of stuff that we've seen with the Martin Scorsese versus Marvel debate in the past few weeks, where people are, like, coming after fucking Martin Scorsese, who is just, like, does not care about any of you people, sort of thing, to defend, like, what they think. I don't know. They're out there defending not just Marvel, but Disney movies from mean Martin Scorsese. And it's kind of...
look, another boot.
Funny to me, because it's like, Disney... I just want to, like, put Disney my hand on their shoulder and be like, Disney does not love you.
Disney doesn't need you. They have more money than God.
Yeah.
They have lawyers out the ass. You are doing their work for them for free.
That's what capitalism is.
So I found this quote that's basically, to me, the fun of Star Wars is the glory of possibility. So it seems insanely narrow-minded and counterintuitive to say there wouldn't be a homosexual character in that world. That is the quote. And I'm like...
Yeah, that's the same vague shit we've been getting for the past several years.
J.J. Abrams confirms new Star Wars films will include a gay character.
But what the fuck does...
I don't... Yeah, that's the fucking quote, and it's like... Whatever.
Matty just tossed their phone forward onto the bed in frustration.
I have not forgotten your crimes, JJ, and I never will. So anyway, let's talk about the plot of this fucking episode.
The good space movies. Yeah, so I suggested this
Final
theme
Frontier
for my birthday episode. Mm-hmm. If you go onto IMDb and type the word contact into the IMDb search bar, the first two films that come up are the two films that we will be talking about, which are Contact, made in 1997 and adapted from the Carl Sagan novel of the same name, and then Star Trek First Contact, which is a Star Trek movie, which we've talked about briefly in our Star Trek episode, which came out in 1996.
Our Star Trek episode, which came out in 1996.
Yeah, no, not our Star Trek episode. The movie came out in 1996. I want to say, I'm trying to remember which number Star Trek movie it is. Type away.
Well, what is it? The even numbers that are good or the odd numbers that are good?
Well,
Do people consider this to be a good one?
yes.
Okay, great.
It's the even-numbered ones.
Okay, great. So it's got to be an even number.
Up until Galaxy Quest stepped in and
and then
ruined
it set
all.
everything right.
This is the 8th Star Trek film.
Okay.
But the second Next Generation film and like the only good
Fucking generation.
Next Generation film. Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, you like how they keep... Sorry, I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now, and they keep being like, hey, there's gonna be a new Star Trek.
Yeah, no. Well, see, it's interesting is that they've got two. They've got
two on there for some reason.
They've got a Star Trek 4 directed by...
yes.
Yeah, I know. Noah Hawley. And then one directed by Quentin Tarantino, which will be his 11th film. The man keeps insisting that he will retire. He has not retired.
Quentin Tarantino, retire, bitch.
And he keeps making the movies. Actually, no, it'll be his 10th film, I guess, because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was his 9th.
Ninth.
Yeah. The man keeps lying to me and to us all about the time of his retirement from filmmaking. I don't want him touching Star Trek. I think that's
I think that's an awful idea.
Fucking obvious.
Also, Carl Urban had an interview recently, and someone was like, so, like, Star Trek, right? And he was like, if I had $1 for every time someone told me there's going to be a new Star Trek movie, I would have paid off my mortgage by now. I think he specifically says, mate, if I had $1 for every time.
Mate.
And the interview was like, fair enough, let's talk about something else.
Yes.
Fucking, I love
Which
it.
makes me so sad because out of everybody out there, I think that Carl Urban would be the one most down to do another Star Trek
Simon
movie.
Pegg, I think, would be really stoked about it,
Simon
too.
Pegg would be super stoked. I mean, I think that all of them would be because I think that they like... It's tough, I know, because... Even though he wasn't a huge character,
Anton Yelchin
passing is, made returning to it, I think, slightly difficult. But then there's also, like, the pay disputes.
Oh, yeah. There was so much mess.
With the Chris's.
Only
one of whom they need to bring back, strictly speaking.
I don't know why they were even talking about Hemsworth.
Well, they wanted to do some weird, I don't know, time travel shit.
They wanted to do
possibly.
First Contact 2, Electric Boogaloo. I wasn't expecting that I was going to get that reaction from you. I thought I'd get a little more of a friendly face.
Nope.
Anyway, so First Contact that we're talking about. God, Star Trek
movies.
reboot. I miss you already.
They're the two movies that I chose because they're both movies that I love very much. They've been around since my childhood. They're both very formative to me personally, in different ways, and they're both about humanity making first contact with extraterrestrial species, and they handle them differently, I would say, in some ways.
Yeah, they share some similarities and some differences. The similarities are like the idea of the first contact we make is not the aliens show up and they're like, hey, what's up? It's like we reached a milestone which allowed us to reach out, and there was someone there who reached back. Which I think is, if I have to think about what a first contact may look like, that is the idea that I like so much.
Yeah.
It feels very connective. It feels like what both of these movies bring home, in that, like, First Contact is all about we are not alone, and isn't that so joyous that we are so small and so insignificant because we are not the only sentient life, and isn't that something to celebrate, and isn't that something that is so wondrous?
Yeah.
And makes us, they do that a lot in Contact, where, like, it makes us feel so small and so insignificant. Oh, God, what is her line that's like, we feel small and insignificant, and like
in the deposition at the end of the movie, how tiny and insignificant and rare and precious we all are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the core of both of those movies, which I really, really like.
Yeah. And I like it, but I think it's especially poignant in Contact, I think, because there's so much the business of actually getting to make first contact, because it's twofold.
Laborious.
Is they receive a signal. So we should probably do a brief plot summary of the movie.
Yeah, sure. If you haven't seen either of them, we'll do that.
So the plot of Contact revolves around Eleanor Arroway, who is a scientist played by Jodie Foster, whose passion and focus is
she's like an astrophysicist.
Yeah, she focuses on making contact with extraterrestrial life, like looking for signals and looking for possibilities. And she has faced numerous drawbacks in her career from people who don't take her seriously, who retaliate by pulling funding and making things very difficult for her in the scientific community. But she gets to the point with her team where she intercepts a signal coming from the star Vega. Her and her team do. But just getting the signal, and that point comes about, I want to say, like half an hour, 40 minutes into
45
the movie.
minutes probably.
And the movie is 2.5 hours long, and the rest of it is they're trying to, first of all, interpret what the message means, and second of all, just get past all of the bullshit that is brought up by humanity's reaction to it. Immediately, there's we need to militarize this project. We need to respond with force. They're obviously out to send us a doomsday machine and lead us into destruction. We need to know if these aliens believe in God. Like, we can't make contact with a species that doesn't share our beliefs or something. And there's a whole debate between faith and science and the false dichotomy, I would argue, between the two, that permeates both her personal life and her professional one, and the whole basis of making first contact to begin with. It's a whole process. So to have that all come to them telling you, like, yeah, you do a lot of horrible things, but you do a lot of wonderful things too, and you aren't alone.
Oh, yes. Amazing line that's like, you have such wonderful dreams and such horrible nightmares.
Yeah.
Specifically a line that, like, I was crying for a lot of the end of that movie. But there's one line specifically, it says, see, in all of our searching, we found the only thing that makes the emptiness worth it is each other.
Yeah, bearable.
Makes the emptiness bearable is it each other or is it other people?
Is each other. Yeah, so it's the first quote. So the alien that Jodie Foster eventually makes contact with tells her that, like, you know, human beings are capable of such beautiful dreams and such horrible nightmares. You feel so lost, so cut off, so alone, only you're not. See, in all our searching, the only thing we found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other. Which really is, I really appreciated this watch through how much that reflects all of the stuff that she has been through in her life, and feeling so cut off from everybody else and emotionally distancing herself from everyone because she's experienced such profound loss. And then to make the most important discovery in the human history up to that point, and be told that the most important thing is that you continue to reach out to each other, not just to us. It's really
profound.
That movie makes me cry a whole lot. And a lot of people were really mad when that movie came out, and still to this day, because spoilers, you know, she goes through all this whole process of finally building this machine with the instructions that these aliens have sent to make first contact, and she does, and the alien takes a form that she is comfortable with because it doesn't want it to be overwhelming for her, and it doesn't reveal itself to her as an actual alien. It reveals herself to her in the image of her deceased father, who died of, I think, a heart attack, a brain aneurysm, when she was very, very young. And it's very, very poignant, and I think that
brings a great... Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
It brings a great tie around because right after he dies, you see a shot of her at the funeral, and she goes upstairs, and something they used to do together was they would do radio signals, basically reaching out to people across the country, and the first thing she does is she tries to radio her dad, who has just passed. And the first time she's able to reach out beyond the stars, the first person she finds is her dad. Yeah. Like, weeping. Yeah. Weeping, I was weeping.
It's really important for her, I think, to have that. It's a kind
healing.
Of closure. Yeah. So I don't know why people were mad about it. Like, oh, she, like, all she does is see her dad or something. But I don't think that, like, I've seen First Contact movies, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is a fine movie, where there are, like, actual aliens, I guess, which is the complaint or something. But it doesn't really, to me, that's not really always the point of First Contact. It's the process, which I think is the most exciting part about Close Encounters too. That is really fascinating and interesting, and then you just have to find a nice conclusion to make it worth it. And I think that thematically and story-wise, Contact does that. So
I also think I actually spent a lot of kind of the traveling part of the movie thinking, oh god, she's going to see an alien. And that was going to be a letdown for me. I didn't want to, because so much of the movie is not necessarily what are they going to look like, what is their culture. It's what impact does this have on us? Who are we now? Where are we now? It's so much less about the aliens and there is obviously talk about their intent, but it's more about, it's so focused on the humanity of it. It's not about, look at this cool alien we made. It's not about the culture. It's not about the melding of cultures. It's about, how does not being alone in the universe change how we see ourselves in the universe? Yeah. And therefore, I think having it come back around to we see the alien for the first time, and it is a reminder of, like, her loss and her grief and, like, a healing moment, and, like, what does it mean to be in contact with other beings in the universe? Well, it means that we get to be whole.
Mm-hmm. To be part of something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah. How is that not poignant as fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get to see 5 arms. Eat shit. Make it OC, bitch. Get over it. Like.
That being said, the big moment that makes me cry in Star Trek First Contact is when they reveal what the aliens are that they make contact with, but that's also for a different reason than, like, ooh, it's an alien, because...
Well, that's because we know what outer space looks like in Star Trek. That's not a surprise. It's not like a... First Contact isn't about...
No. Go ahead.
First Contact isn't about, like, what does being in space mean to us? It's a group of people who are looking back and also looking at, like, the Borg, and they're defining, like, this is our history, and what does it mean to be in a historical moment, seeing it from the other side, and also what does it mean to have... like humanity and not, like, I don't know, like human nature and shit. To
be deprived of that humanity the way that the Borg are.
Right.
God, I do want to spoil the end of First Contact just for some context.
That movie also came out, like,
20 years ago?
Yeah.
Over 20 years ago?
Over 20 years ago?
Yeah. So at the end of Star Trek First Contact, they do a really good job of never mentioning who the aliens are that they make first contact with. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't ever established lore at that point in the Star Trek universe. They never said, like, oh, we made first contact with blank. And what happens is they make it, the spaceship lands, these dudes walk out, and then they have, like, these hoods. They're kind of like the elves in Lord of the Rings a little bit. And Zephyr Cochrane, who developed warp drive for humanity, goes up to them, and this guy takes off his hood, and he's revealed to be a Vulcan, and he has the Vulcan ears, and it's this triumphant swell of music when he does it.
That humans and Vulcans have always been, since humans came into space, intertwined intrinsically. Their histories are tied together, which I made a crack about. Like, the Vulcans were like, we found this dog outside and it followed us home, and now we have to keep it, I guess.
Well, that's the movie wanted you to make that comment, because it ends with that scene of after they've made first contact, what happened, and which I really like, because it could end with the Enterprise crew going off into space, but it goes back to Earth after this huge, like, first contact moment has been made, and he brings these Vulcans into a bar. He's like, have some human alcohol, and they're tentatively drinking it, and he introduces them to the concept of the jukebox, and Roy Orbison very loudly playing on the jukebox. The Vulcan stands up, startled at the loud music, sits back down, and slowly takes another drink, as if to say, oh God, what have we done?
Yeah.
But it is still a really poignant moment for just in universe to Star Trek that this is a relationship that has been very fraught, both personally and on a larger scale, but it was always like...
It was always about camaraderie.
Yeah. It was always about the two of them. It's the Vulcans, whom I love so much. Yeah, makes me cry.
Every time.
Both
like my status if you cry every time. Yeah, so that's kind of the rough plot, and First Contact, more of the plot of that is like,
oh yeah,
they are chasing the Borg. They end up back to the day before First Contact, and they're like, oh shit, we have to make sure First Contact happens, because the Borg want to essentially make it so it doesn't happen, so they can just take over humanity and change history. So on the Enterprise, they're dealing with the Borg are taking over the ship, and Picard is dealing with his trauma.
Because he was captured by the Borg several years ago, and assimilated into the collective, but kept as sort of an individual. And he was rescued from that, which is very rare and doesn't usually happen with people who are assimilated into the Borg. So he still has a connection to the hive mind of the Borg. And he has, obviously, it's a lot of physical and also like mental trauma of losing his sense of self and causing the deaths of lots of people, because he gives them access to, like, I can't remember. Oh, it's Wolf 45359. I can't remember.
Wait, are you kidding me?
No.
Sorry, that's the name of one of my favorite podcasts. That's about, like, I was thinking about it while we were watching Contact. Is Wolf 359?
Is that the name of it?
Listen to Wolf 359.
No, that's me. That's me putting Wolf 359 into my brain.
Okay, that's probably, we've talked about Wolf 359 a lot. Well, no, DS9.
DS9. Oh, yeah, Wolf 359. Yeah, no. Okay, so the
Holy shit.
Wolf 3...
I had no clue.
The Battle of Wolf 359 is the, like, incepting event of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, in which Commander Sisko, who later becomes the commander of Deep Space Nine, loses his wife in the Battle of Wolf 359, which is an attack of the Borg on this space station. And that was the space station that Picard led the Borg fleet to. So Sisko has some not too warm feelings about Jean-Luc Picard for that reason. Not entirely his fault, but...
No, but also not entirely,
not his fault.
Yeah. And also, like, dealing with, like, his feelings of revenge and fear, and, like, one of the people from the 21st century is, like, compares him to Ahab in this, like, really great scene between the two of them. And he's never really processed or dealt with that trauma. He's just kind of, like, lived with it. And he clearly has PTSD flashbacks in, like, the first scene.
Yeah. Because he's connecting to the hive mind and also experiencing this trauma that he, flashing back to his trauma that he had. It's interesting because I feel like, and I can't say this is for sure, but I think one of the complaints maybe people had about First Contact was, I think that in this show, Picard had in some way dealt with his trauma. So to see him reverting back to it was not reverting back to his trauma, but like had dealt with his feelings about the Borg in some way. So they felt like that part of it was resolved for him, and to see it reopened again and be like completely new and
fair, that's what trauma's like, baby.
Yeah. So from a storytelling perspective, maybe, but like also I don't think it's that big of a mark against the movie. And it's interesting that they bring up the Moby Dick thing, because in Star Trek Wrath of Khan, there's a moment where Khan quotes Moby Dick at the same, while he's like trying to attack the Enterprise as well. And revenge is a very, very big plot point in that movie. So it's something that comes up a lot in Star Trek, using Moby Dick as a revenge reference when you need it.
Well, it makes sense to me. Yeah. It's very, Star Trek can sometimes be pretty literary.
Oh yeah.
And boy, isn't that one of the, like, biggest stories of feudal revenge that's ever existed. Yeah. Revenge against a force of nature, basically, that has no mind and there's no point to it, and yet you do it anyway. I've never read Moby Dick.
Neither have I. It's okay. I have it upstairs, and I do plan on reading it. But that's, I mean, but she quotes it. She brings it up, and she admits to never having read it in the movie.
He quotes it. He quoted Moby Dick, and I was like, oh shit, I have to read this book.
Yeah, I know. Right?
That was really good.
That was a really good line. I also feel the same way about how when Khan quotes it in the Wrath of Khan too. He just says something about from hell's heart I stab at thee or something like that. I'm like, that's Moby Dick. Never read it.
Don't need to. I've seen Star Trek.
Yeah. So that's the plot of Star Trek First Contact and Contact. Want to talk about my man Matthew McConaughey? Do we need to?
Oh, God. Matthew McConaughey has an interesting role in Contact in that Contact features a lot of talk about, like, if there is other life in this universe, what does that mean to our relation to God? Which I think is actually kind of an interesting question.
Yes.
And the way the movie handles it is pretty heavy-handed. There's not a lot of nuance, which is not surprising. It's a sci-fi movie, and
Robert Zemeckis kind of Hollywood. Yeah,
and in a lot of Hollywood movies, there's always a very strong line between the logic of science and the quote-unquote frivolity of faith, which is not how real life works, and I think that there's room for both. But he plays essentially like the religious consultant for the Clinton White House. Which is such a weird thing to exist. And one time he slept with Jodie Foster, who's the main scientist.
Yeah, they meet at the very beginning of the movie when she's
when she's in like Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, you're a priest," and but
he dropped out of seminary school so he could fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally
what he says. Not a big fan of celibacy.
Yeah.
So they do the nasty, and he's like, call me, and she's like,
no,
won't.
Also, my funding just got cut. Bye.
He leaves his number in her little cabin that she's got. She looks at it and is like, don't think so.
Anyway, bye.
And then she runs into him. Well, he's seen later
like 10 years later
at the station in New Mexico, because he's written this book about technology and science and how
Thomas Edison is a witch.
And how Thomas Edison is a witch, and how we're losing our connection to God. Like, he makes some interesting point about us being like disconnected and everything, right? Because of technology, but also it's in the like greater context of like losing our connection to a Christian God specifically, which I think is part of the reason that one of the reasons that the movie's initial relationship to faith is so heavy-handed is because it's very focused on one particular kind of faith.
Yes, it is. It is basically solely focused on like a heavily Christian God.
Yeah.
And it's nice because at the end they kind of find a middle ground where they both realize that their relation to their fields of study is all about finding the truth and all about finding interconnectedness and finding community. In some way or another, it's all about we are bringing together people and finding meaning and finding truth. So they kind of find a really nice middle ground, which is like, oh, this is what we've been waiting for. Mm-hmm. But you spend a lot of the movie being like, Matthew, please stop fucking talking.
Yeah, stop, shut up. It's nice.
You're so annoying.
So many men talk over Jodie Foster or condescend to Jodie Foster in this movie, and it's really fucking unbearable whenever they do it.
Oh my god.
But at the beginning of the movie, after they sleep together, he tells her the story of like, this is why I am the person that I am, about an experience that he had, and it was like, oh, it was God, and she tries to rationalize it to him and say things like, are you sure that you didn't just have that experience?
Which does kind of suck.
Yeah, of course. Like, she makes some not so great, points as well. Are you sure that it wasn't just because you needed to have that experience? And he's like, right. And then later at the end of the movie, during the trial, when they're like, she goes into space and she meets this alien, she comes back and it didn't record. She had a recorder on that was supposed to record video, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Her trip back through the wormhole erased, apparently, the static of the image of the video. It's just static.
And the way that they saw it, she basically just dropped straight through it. She didn't like stop or disappear. She just kind of like dropped through the machine. So she was gone for 18 hours, but they looked like she was gone for like half a second.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, maybe it didn't happen.
Yeah. So there's a investigative trial into the whole matter, in which somebody who, the national security advisor basically
ends up running for Congress or something.
Yeah, and starts attacking her and giving all these hypothetical scenarios and asks like which one is the most likely scenario.
Occam's razor, yeah.
Occam's razor. You may have hallucinated this whole thing, but she responds by saying, I had an experience that I can't describe or explain, but I know that it was real and that I experienced it. And she does have that moment with Matthew McConaughey's character in that where it's like, technically what we both had was the same, just in a different way. It is, that point is a little bit invalidated by the fact that the movie doesn't go out of its way to provide proof of God, because that's not its purpose, but it does say like, no, she went there.
It does, which I do appreciate, because you do spend this, for me, I had a second where I was like, are they really going to be like, it didn't fucking happen?
Yeah.
And then at the end, they're like, so she did record all that static, but she did record exactly 18 hours of static in that half second she was gone.
Yeah.
And they're like, and then it cuts. Yeah.
Never going to tell her about it. Never going to tell anybody else about it. Peace.
Yeah, I guess we'll try this again in another 15 years or whatever.
National security.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, points were made. We live in a society.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. And yet you live in a society. Speaking of interesting points, when was the last time you saw a movie where they literally cut in the current president?
Yeah.
They green screened in the actual current president into the fucking movie instead of just making up a president. They had green screen images of Bill Clinton at a meeting, and Rob Lowe was at the other end of the table playing a conservative. It was nuts.
It's pretty... They did that with Forrest Gump. I think Forrest Gump was the one to... They do that with a lot of video of Forrest's accomplishments. They cut in the current president or whatever, or whoever's supposed to be the current president in the story of Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And that was a few years before Contact. I think that it was sort of this trend they were trying to do, and I don't think it's been used since then.
Yeah, because everyone realized how hard it was.
Yeah, it's like, this is
how weird
so
it is.
Not worth it.
It took me out of the moment to be like, that's Bill Clinton, and I know his crimes.
Yep.
They did it a couple times with Obama too. I think that there were a couple movies where they were like, here's Obama on the news or something. They didn't ever be like, Obama's at this meeting with Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
They were just like, here's clips of him on the news or something, commenting on this apocalyptic event or whatever. Yeah. But I can only really think of one or two, and I can't remember what they are.
I mean, I'll be clear, they don't cut him into what the movie camera is recording. They cut him into video recordings that are shown in the movie.
Right. So you're not looking at him in live. You're looking at recordings of him. Which actually was a really smart way to do it. Except for that one shot that I'm thinking of, which I was like, I can tell that. But to be fair, I'm seeing it in 2019, so that's not fair of me. They pulled it off really well. It was just, for me, disconcerting to see it as a viewer in 2019.
Yes.
To know, first of all, how Bill Clinton's presidency ended.
Yep.
And also to be like, this didn't happen while Bill Clinton was president.
God, I wish it had.
God, I wish it had.
Just so we would fucking be in the future by now already.
Wish I could be hanging out with an alien right now. I kind of am, though. Zinger.
What?
You're the alien. You're an alien. I'm making fun of you.
Oh. I guess that's a good joke. My crimes.
Very varied and plentiful.
Anyway. My favorite part about Contact sometimes is all of the fun, discovery beats they do. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that I watch that even seeing it for the millionth time where I'm like, oh, this is gonna happen next, where I'm really excited, especially watching it with other people who haven't seen it before. This is so exciting, they're gonna see this thing happen and it's new information.
Yeah, I gasped aloud more than once, audibly. It was like when I realized it was great. You felt the thrill of discovery along with them, which was so exciting. It's so cool. Maybe I'm a science nerd, but I thought it was very cool.
No, it is very cool, I think. Also.
And I liked that they didn't dumb down the science. There were moments where they were talking in clearly shop talk, and I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because it's I don't really know what they're saying, but I don't need to. I know that it's very important.
Yeah.
And I preferred it to if they had used something that is more approachable to the layman, because it would have felt...
Yeah, they definitely, from what I can read, dumbed it down from the novel itself, but...
Yeah, which is fine. But they didn't make it, like... You know, they didn't make it super, like, beginner astrophysics.
Yes, exactly. They're like, just trust me on this.
Yeah, they didn't explain how the science really worked, because they didn't need to. That wasn't the point. The point wasn't being like, here's how the science works. The point was like, the science is happening. And you don't really understand exactly what's happening, but you know that it's very important, just like most of the people who would have been watching this event happen.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know what's happening, but I know that this is history. Yeah.
Yeah.
Friendship. Both of these movies have, like, very, very cute, like, I read that initially as a Picard and Data, which I'm sure also I'm going to bring up.
I mean, yeah. Best friends.
Best friends, yeah. I have to go save my best friend. Okay, bye.
Bye, okay.
But both of them have such, like, grounding friendships for two people, like Ellie and Picard, who are both, like, in those moments relatively isolated as, like, the only people who understand insert thing here, really. And then they have, like, very grounding, balancing friendships. Like, they have very good foils.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Picard is kind of the very cool, usually very calm and collected, and rational person, and Lily, who is a woman who is friends with Zefram Cochrane, the inventor of... Oh my god, we haven't even talked about James Cromwell as Zefram Cochrane yet. Okay, we'll get there. But she's friends with Zefram Cochrane, and she is transported aboard the Enterprise after she sustains an injury. And her and Picard meet and become friends, and she's very much a more... because of the world in which she lives in, which is a in the Star Trek universe, post-World War III survival.
Like 10 years post-World War III.
10 years post-World War III. Very, like, used to having to fight and survive. Very hot-headed, very direct, very driven, very, not so, not passive-aggressive. That's not quite the phrase I'm looking for, but kind of like...
She's not a politician.
No. Yeah, she says what she means, and she's the one who's able to bring Picard back to reality when he refuses to blow up the ship and
save the people aboard.
Yeah, because she calls him out rightly about wanting to just have revenge on the Borg and not let them win or have another win. And in the same way, like in almost the opposite way, like Ellie is a very rational person, but she's also very hot-headed and very tough and very direct. And her foil is, besides Father Palmer Joss, who's played by Matthew McConaughey, is Kent, who is one of the scientists on her team, he's blind, and she meets him when they're in Puerto Rico, and she brings him, they join together when they go to New Mexico to work for the Very Large Array. And so he kind of is with her through all of the setbacks and all of the, like, losing funding and making first contact and making these huge discoveries, and eventually her traveling through space. And he's just this sort of calming presence in her life of, like, Ellie, please, for the love of God, you need to come back to reality for a second. And it's very nice.
He's the one who realizes that underneath the initial, like, wave of audio, there's something else.
Yes, the idea being that he can, like, hear some stuff in the signals that they listen to that other people can't always hear or know how to listen for. So yeah, he does hear the layer of audio, and he's also the one when they when Ellie is about to travel through the machine to Vega. Her video that she's recording to them back to the base is all staticky, and they're losing contact with her. That he's able to hear her say that she's saying she's okay to go and that they shouldn't abort the mission, because he's listening for her. Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on?" And he's like, "Everyone, shut up! I'm listening to my best friend right now.
She's okay. You have to send her through. Don't you dare abort this first contact mission." Yeah. So it's nice that they have those relationships in there that, like, explicitly Ellie and Kent's relationship is not romantic. but they still have that friendship there, which I think is really refreshing. And like Picard and Lily's relationship could be like vaguely romantic. Like there's some kind of thing there, but they don't. It's like we cannot do this right now. We've literally just met.
And also I'm about to go 500 years into the future.
Yeah, and we need to fight these horrible aliens and stop them from stopping first contact.
Yeah. He's also in Contact. Ken is like one of the only men who doesn't ever talk over Ellie.
Yeah.
Like they have conversations.
So the point when he finally does like yell at her, it's like, oh no, this is serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have conversations. They talk.
Yeah. Because they both, the first they meet, she's listening to like the frequencies of the stuff that's like bouncing back from space. So they're listening to see if anything's bouncing back. And most people just kind of look at the audio waves and see kind of what's there, and she actually listens. And that's the first thing they kind of connect over is like, no, not many people listen.
Yeah.
And it's really cute.
It's great because that listening is the thing that enables her to make first contact in the first place, because she's out at the very large array underneath the telescopes listening on her headphones just to the signals. And when the signals finally reach that one Vegas signal, she like is able to instigate it back at the compound as well. Yeah. Or the compound, the base.
The facility.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
Do we want to talk about James Cromwell?
Yeah, for sure. He's so good.
He's so tall.
He's the tallest man alive, I think.
Yeah, how tall is James Cromwell? Google.
Your mom said he was like 6'7" or something. Did you say that?
I said that. I could have been exaggerating.
She did say like there's not many people who are much taller than
Jonathan Frakes. He's 6'6".
He's 6'6". Pretty close.
My man is 6'6". Yeah. That is very, very tall.
Yeah. Yeah, his character in First Contact is
6'3". Wow.
His character in First Contact is 6'3".
No, sorry.
No.
Hey. Oh, he's so small.
No. Now we're looking at Patrick Stewart's height.
Sorry.
We're just looking at the heights of various people who are on Star Trek. No, so First Contact also has interesting things to say about history, how history remembers us. Where his thing is that he's the first man who created warp drive. He's the reason First Contact happened. 500 years in the future, they have high schools named after him. They have
statues.
They have 20-meter tall statues of him in that exact spot, and he's someone who like struggles with alcohol abuse and is a womanizer, and like he originally started to create warp drive so we could sell it, so we could retire somewhere on a tropical beach full of naked women. That is a quote.
Yes.
And so I really liked the kind of forays into him being like, I don't want to be a figure in history. Like, I'm not, everyone's treating me like a hero and I'm just some dickhead who's doing this so I can make money. I'm not worth this accolade. I don't like the way that history has remembered me, because I don't feel like there's an overlay of I don't feel like I deserve the way that history has remembered me.
Yeah. It freaks them out a bit, and they are a little intense with it.
Oh my, it's played off as a joke, but there were times where I was like, oh, this is making me so uncomfortable.
They take the Prime Directive out of its case, blow off the dust, and promptly throw it out the fucking window.
Tell him.
They just like drop kick the Prime Directive in this movie.
Fuck the Prime Directive.
They tell him everything. They just tell him.
You told him about the statue.
Did you fucking tell him? Literally, like Riker. Like,
did you tell him about the statue?
Did you fucking tell him about this? He doesn't swear, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Jordy's just
the fuck is implied.
Yeah, I told him that he has a statue. People keep coming up to him and trying to shake his hand. And he's like, this is too overwhelming and this is not me. And I feel like, I think it's that self-doubt, which is relatable. If Zephyr Cochrane is to be a relatable character where, I can't see myself the way that you see me. And I don't feel like, if I do this thing, it's going to go wrong now that you've told me all of this.
Yeah. And to be fair, it's like Geordi and Riker and him, and they're in the cockpit getting ready to fucking go into warp, and they're like, hey, that light is on, and he looks up and he smacks the box and he's like, don't worry about it.
And they're like,
and both of them kind of realize like, this is the man who sent us into space for the first, like, into warp for the first time. And he's very, like, slapdash and like, I love that, you know.
He wants to put on some rock music.
Oh, yeah, he slams on some rock music, and it kicks ass. It's so good. He's hungover. He's blind hungover the first time they go to warp.
He has a 4-alarm. It's a very human story that the first time you make first contact with the aliens, you have a 4-alarm hangover.
And you're listening to rock music, yeah.
But in the end, he gets to make first contact. And
he makes out with a Vulcan.
Yeah, he makes out with a Vulcan.
So fucking funny.
Does not happen in the...
They shake hands.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Vulcan make out.
Star Trek context, touching hands, hand contact in Vulcan culture is like
extremely intimate.
It's basically if you touch hands, the palm of your hands together, it's like having sex, practically.
Yeah, it's not a casual gesture, but they do the like live long and prosper thing, and he can't do it because there's when I was a kid, I couldn't do it. I could not get my fingers to stick like that, and he can't do it. So he just reaches out his hand to shake hands with him, and the Vulcan's like, wow!
All right!
You're promiscuous!
Forward, are we?
I love this species! They're DTF! And they shake hands!
But his face remains impassive, as always.
Which is why I was giggling when we were watching First Contact, because I was sitting there thinking about right now, they fucking... First Contact was humans and Vulcans made out in front of God and everybody.
Oh, man.
And the humans didn't and, like, I'm sure the Vulcans, obviously, were like, okay, they don't know what this means to us. And there's no way to... this is clearly part of their culture, and we just don't have time to explain, like, hey, this is, like, fucking to us. I don't know, maybe he was into that.
I love that Star Trek gave us that incredible thick idea that there is a species of alien that to them touching hands is so intimate as to be akin to sex. Mm-hmm. And there's a possibility that could be misconstrued. Mm-hmm. It's like the fake marriage trope and having to share a bed. It's akin to levels of that kind of misunderstanding could possibly lead to romance.
Star Trek is full of shit that's like, oh, we accidentally got married on this planet because we didn't realize what marriage customs were.
Yeah, wow. I'm just thinking about it.
Thinking about it. And also the, like, literally, in Star Trek canon, that first contact with humans happened and they shake hands. And it just can't, that Vulcans find that, like, unspeakably intimate. That motherfucker did it in front of all his friends. Yeah. He didn't even try to explain to be like, hey, this is actually like super intimate for us. He was like, fuck it, I guess.
Like, all right, well, we're doing this.
Okay. He's 6'6". That's pretty fucking tall. You see this motherfucker? He's big as hell. Going for that handshake. Anyway, so all that shit I said earlier about Vulcans and humans being like forever intertwined in history now is extremely funny.
Ain't it the truth, though?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Look, there's a reason that, Kirk and Spock are the oldest Mulla ship in fandom history.
Please,
Mullum ship. Mulla. Wow. God, now I'm thinking about it. I want to be clear, I'm not thinking specifically about James Cromwell and that Vulcan.
No, I'm just thinking about Star Trek conversation.
I'm thinking about Spock and all of the shit that he has had to deal with his entire life.
The fucking bullshit that he's put up with.
All of the...
oh my God. I am on this ship. I'm surrounded by humans who are physically affectionate. All the time.
All the time.
My two best friends just won't stop touching me. And I understand that for them, this is how they communicate affection. And for me, I'm dying.
At the beginning, he's dying. But he starts to pick it up.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why
he is half human.
He is half human. And then, Amok Time, of course, being classic, and they don't touch hands in Amok Time. Please, that would be too much. But he does.
Yeah, scandalous.
He does grip Kirk's shoulders so very tightly.
Yeah,
Makes me cry.
Yeah.
And one Wrath of Khan, of course, too. That's behind glass, but... Now we're just going to go on a tangent about Star Trek.
Think about it. Listen to our Star Trek episode.
We'll do another Star Trek
Remember
episode.
that scene in Star Trek Beyond where Bones is like, you would think that you like almost like me, and he's like, I thought it was always obvious how much I respect you or whatever, and we were all like, what?
When I saw the trailers...
And then that bitch ghosts him.
Yeah, he ghosted him. He like got beamed up.
he's like, I'm gonna fucking die
he
here.
Was literally like, Leonard. He called him Leonard.
He called him Leonard, yeah.
First of all,
I always thought it was, I had the utmost respect for you.
I don't have to tell you how much I love you, you fucking idiot. Because
you dumb bitch.
I tell you every day in my own special way.
In my own little Vulcan way. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find that quote. The bitches love Star Trek.
Star Trek Beyond, and that trailer came out, and I realized that half of the movie was going to be... Not half of the movie. About like a quarter of the movie was going to be Bones and Spock are stranded on this planet together, and they have to survive. I was like...
And it fucking ruled.
Yes!
Oh, it fucking ruled.
This is my moment. Because that's always really good. It's the good shit.
Oh yeah, and then Spock's the miserable, have no other medicine but only hope. Death's door, and he's quoting Shakespeare. That's my man.
Ugh, they have that moment in the cave.
All of these quotes are from the two of them. Oh, here it is. And here I was thinking that you cared. Of course I care, Leonard. I always assume my respect for you is clear. The dialogue we have had across the years has always cut off. Bones, it's okay, Spock. You don't have to say it. At least I won't die alone. And then Spock is beautiful.
Yeah.
And Bones is like, well, that's just typical. That was in the trailer, and I remember sitting there and being like,
unfucking believable.
This is gonna be great.
This is gonna be
anyway,
so
that's some Regency era romance shit. Is like, you don't have to...
the repression of it all.
It's about the repression. God, I fucking love Star Trek. I want to go home and watch Star Trek.
Go home and watch... Well, it's gonna be too late when you get home. But
no, I have to work at 7.
All of the quotes are literally...
It's all them! It's all them!
It's all them.
Oh, man. Anyway, so, oh, God. Also, I remember... This is getting back to Contact. When you and Ben were talking about Contact, I remember y'all saying that line that's like, they should have sent a poet, and I was like, okay. And then seeing that line in context, I was like, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
It's very, very good.
Yeah. And then also like Awful Waste of Space.
Yeah.
Which for me personally was always that's how I've always viewed the possibility of life, as I was like, there's way too much shit out there for there not to be like, it is narcissistic of us to think that there is not some other form of sentient life. And maybe it's true, maybe we're it, like that's it. But like, that's just a lot of space, isn't it? And so to hear that repeated line of Awful Waste of Space is like...
Very good.
It's got me.
I don't want to ruin it for you, but on my last rewatch, what struck me, because her dad says that in scenes when she's a little girl, and she's asking him about what he thinks about, life on other planets, and he says the line that if it's just us, it could be an awful waste of space. And then the night that she meets Matthew McConaughey, she's like showing him constellations and everything, and talking about how, basically just so excited, like there's the possibilities of how many civilizations could be out there if you factor in all the odds. I mean, there's millions. And he says, like word for word, if it would be an awful waste of space. And she looks at him, and she is like, I am going to sleep with this guy tonight because he just said this thing. And it's Matthew McConaughey, but I kind of understand.
Yeah, in that moment, I got it.
The poetry of that is like, yes.
I get it. I did think later on in the movie when he's got that better haircut that's kind of like fluffy and blonde and a little bit longer, I was like, if I grow up my hair a little bit more, I could rock that. I just so don't want to grow up my hair.
Yeah.
I'm already suffering.
He's impeccably well dressed in that movie. His outfits...
he is. Fashions in Contact are so good. They're so 90s and they're so good.
Once he like gets out of the like, I'm not a real priest.
Yeah, I'm a cool preacher.
I'm a cool priest. And he's wearing the stupid like Hawaiian t-shirts and khakis and stuff.
Yeah.
And he gets out like, I'm a professional person now, and he wears the nice peacoats and scarves, and he looks always impeccable. It's like, okay, like, not in any other context, but specifically in the context of this movie, especially in that scene on the base where he's wearing the, what did you say, like, the soft, like, sweater boy
Oh yeah, the
look?
soft depression sweater look.
Yeah.
Like, my girlfriend is dying, so I'm wearing, like, a soft boy sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his hair is a little mussy, because he's got bangs, because he's sad, because his girlfriend's going to space forever now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good look.
Yes, it is. It's a very good look for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scene where you guys started to forgive him, because he had pulled some pretty unforgivable shit.
Oh my god, he was so annoying. And then he brought Kent in.
Yeah. He was the only one who saw Kent.
And they were holding hands, yeah. To, like, pull him over so he could have a front row seat to, like, say goodbye to his best friend. And I was like, you can stay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Got
alright.
a fucking eye on you, but you can stay.
I like
You're
how...
on thin fucking ice, Matthew.
I assume that they're in contact, LOLs, in some way. After the drama of the... Thank you. After the drama of the trial scene. But I think it's notable that, you know, they have the moment of reconciliation and, like, togetherness after the trial, and then they cut to 18 months later when she's back
at the arrays.
She's back at the arrays, and I can't remember what his character's name is. I think it's Fisher.
The guy who's always smoking a pipe.
The guy who
so
like
fucking
is
funny
like your character.
Yeah, my dude is stoned the whole time.
Yeah. Well, the other guy is specifically very stoned the whole time, too.
Yes,
who's
both of
more
them are
of a hippie.
stoned. They're just different kinds of stoners, yeah.
He's there, like, watching her give this lecture to these kids, but Matthew McConaughey is not there.
Specifically not there, yeah.
And the scene afterwards where she goes back to the cliffs to look out at the vastness of, you know, the canyons and of space. Mm-hmm. I was thinking as I was watching it, like, there's another movie somewhere in an alternate universe that's a much worse movie where this scene, we see him, Matthew McConaughey, walking towards her and, like, speaking to her at the edge of the cliff.
And they are both wearing wedding rings or something. Yeah.
And they're making out or whatever the fuck. And in this movie, it's not. It's a very quiet moment of her just being with herself and her certainty that she knows the experience that she had.
The same place where she first heard the sound, it kind of comes full circle.
And she's back there, but she's not feeling alone anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So even though nobody else is there, she's not alone.
She's not alone. Mm-hmm.
So thank God that didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Hooray! It didn't happen.
Yeah. Thank you.
God, I wish I knew a tight little ribbon to wrap this all up in.
Love Star Trek. Love space. Like my status if you cry every time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Is that it?
Be gay, love space.
Be gay, love space. I guess these two movies are in their own way unusual.
They are an unusual. This is an unusual double feature episode, I think.
Yes. Oh, we didn't talk about Data.
Oh, we didn't talk about Data at all. I love Data so much. He's legitimately one of my favorite Star Trek characters.
Oh yeah, no, he's my legit. He's my okay.
Okay.
We're talking about Data. Okay. In every single Star Trek show that there is, my favorite character, incidentally, like, I didn't plan this, but it always ends up being the character that has the hardest time showing their emotions. So
mood.
Yeah.
Oh, worm. Yeah.
So original series, my favorite character is Spock. Growing up, my favorite character on Deep Space Nine was Odo.
Mm-hmm. I love Odo.
Growing up, and rest in peace to Rene Auberjonois, who died recently. Mm-hmm. He was amazing, and his body of work is incredible and extensive.
Vast, yeah.
And on Voyager, my favorite character was Janeway, who is a kind of a combination of the two. She has a really hard time, I think, because of the position that she's in.
My friend named my car after Janeway, and I was like, nope, good.
Good. I'm not changing
Good choice, yeah.
And of course, Next Generation, my favorite character always growing up was Data. Mm-hmm. And I've heard a lot of interesting opinions about people who have their favorite character as Data that I think are more about film, like not film bros, I don't know, like nerd boys who, I don't know. I heard this opinion from another podcast where they were complaining about that kind of type of character who is constantly on this search of, I need to know what humanity feels like, and I don't know, like there was nothing to go to from there at that point. But I heavily disagree, of course. I think that Data is kind of weirdly the audience surrogate a lot on Star Trek because he is wanting to discover humanity and all of these strange things for the first time, while at the same time being completely alien to even the characters on the show in many ways, because he is an android and doesn't think like them, and doesn't feel like them.
And that doesn't stop him from trying either. Yeah. Because I think it's very easy to... Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, you don't.
I think it's very easy to say, like, oh, we have a robot character who doesn't understand what humans feel like, and we're done.
Yeah.
And we finished. Something that really hit me is that, like, the Borg are all about perfection. You know, they're about achieving perfection. Which, for me, personally, in my life, I'm like, that's not achievable, but isn't it so great that we get to constantly better ourselves, that we get to keep kind of striving towards a goal that is unreachable, because that means that you never have to stop. You just always get to keep going. And Data said something very similar, is like, perfection basically doesn't exist. Like, I want to keep trying to be more human, because that is something that is worthwhile to me, but I'm never going to be human, and that doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be perfect, because that is something you can't have.
The joy is in the learning and learning how to experience it, and
the experiences too.
Yeah.
That's something that's worthwhile in and of itself, is feeling that way.
Yeah. I think what I was thinking of too is that horrid show which shall not be named, but we will just say the name for the sake of context. The Orville apparently has a similar kind of Data XB character who is the exact opposite. I think that he, like, hates humanity, basically, and is constantly insulting it and saying, you know, terrible things about it, which I think is definitely the obvious Seth MacFarlane route to go when you, like, are responding to Next Generation, and maybe it's this so-called cynical or so-called, I don't know, like, adult version of that, but it's not interesting to me. I think that Data's constant, like, wonder and desire for a new experience is more relatable to me personally, even though I can be a deeply cynical person. It's nice having somebody who finds joy in experiencing even the tiniest things.
I think it's more fulfilling as well, you know, and it's you have a lot, as for someone who's writing a screenplay or something, you have a lot more room to work with that, rather than, you know, my one trick pony is I hate humanity and I'm never growing out of that.
Yeah.
I think constant wonder and joy is so much easier to work with, and so much more enjoyable to work with. Like, that's such a positive thing to kind of be able to do, and that's something that you can always bring that fresh perspective to any scenario. And there's a lot of room for humor, there's a lot of room for thoughtfulness, you know. One of the characters that I made up with my dad when I was in high school, one of the, like, bits that we used to do was the man who was constantly surprised by everything. All these years later, that is still a funny bit, because you can always find something to like, the mundane can be exciting again.
Yeah. There's a great moment in this movie early on where they've gone back in time and they're seeing the Phoenix, which is the ship that Cochrane uses to make warp drive with, and Picard is touching it, and he's saying, like, this is so cool because I've only ever seen this in the Smithsonian, and Data is like, so does touching it, like, increase the pleasure of the experience for you? And he's like, yeah, there's something tactile about, you know, something that adds to the experience of it. And Data also tries to put his hand on the machine. He's like, I can sense the flaws in the machine, and, like, everything like that. And Picard's just like, shh. Just like,
yeah, and Data's like, that doesn't make it feel more real to me. I don't understand. And Picard's like, yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
That's the other thing too, is everyone on the ship, at least, you know, later on, is kind of, Data's like, the math doesn't really work out for me here.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't make this feel more real to me. I don't get it. And they're like, Data, you just wouldn't get it. He's like, no, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Yeah, it doesn't have to.
Yeah. I think there's something certainly about, and from what I can tell from Seth MacFarlane type comedy, the comedy that he has written, there's a certain type of school of comedy that gets joy out of characters constantly living in disharmony with each other and being mean to each other, and you know, I also watch shows like Veep, so there's a certain point, if you're writing intelligently about something, where there can be really good comedy that comes out of that, but it doesn't really work for a show like Star Trek, which I'm not saying that Orville has to be Star Trek. It's still a terrible show. But
no,
there's
but
something
clearly it's hard to make a show like that doesn't feel like an homage in some way.
And that's not part of the ethos of Star Trek, is that they don't, treat each other like that. I don't know. Or there's an attempt to get along, and there's no comedy or no joy to be had out of people saying like, I hate humanity, laugh track. And that's the whole scene. That's the whole joke, Yeah. I love Data.
I love Data so much. I love that he gets like human flesh and he gives it up, and because he's like, that's not really what makes you human. Flesh is not, blah blah blah.
Exactly,
whatever.
Yeah.
And Picard's like, did you think about taking her offer? And he's like, yeah, for like 0.006 seconds, but to Android that feels like an eternity.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet. It's so like, I just love Data so much.
Yeah.
I think he's such a nice spin on like the robot android character, because he's not like cold. Mm-hmm. He like, sometimes things don't like click for him. He's like, I don't understand this emotion, but he's not like heartless. Mm-hmm. That he does still tries, which for an autistic person who the comparisons are frequently made to robots because they are cool, like they are cold and uncaring. Mm-hmm. To have an android that is not like that it's just so refreshing.
Yeah,
it's so nice, and it's like sometimes you don't understand those emotional pieces, but it doesn't mean you don't care, or like that you're like unfeeling or like boring or one-dimensional, or like just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times robot characters can be like, they end up coming off cruel, which is like, that's so, I don't know. I get bored of that.
Yeah, it is boring. Yeah, it is not, like, I can't think of a better example in media of an android that is like that than Data. Mm-hmm. I think that his character is very enduring and popular for good reason.
Yeah, because he rules.
Poor Brent Spiner didn't get out of the grease paint Tin Man makeup for a very long time, and I'm sure he has certain feelings about that. But he's also a really good actor. That poor man
probably had breakouts just like out the wazoo.
Oh my god.
He suffered for his art.
He suffered for his art. It's a good thing we didn't watch Nemesis, Star Trek Nemesis, the movie in which Data fucking dies.
Oh, I would have hated that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough, buddy. Mm-hmm. But it's a good. But I think in the Picard series, there's going to be a Data. From what I
would
understand.
like that very much. I have access to CBS now.
Oh, good.
We have access to CBS through Z.
Yes,
so.
Star Trek Picard's Santiago Cabrera's in it. I forgot about that.
Neat.
Very neat. Love that for me.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Hurd, Alison Pill. Love that. Harry Treadway. Sexy.
Good cast.
This is a very good cast. Could have sworn, Jonathan Frakes. So good. Oh my god. Riker and Troy.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh my god. 7 of 9.
Oh.
Data.
Interesting.
Oh my god. Oh,
the gang's all here.
The gang's all here. Almost.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
The gang is...
He's got a little dog.
Oh. Gene wrote a bunch of it.
He's got a little doggy.
He's got a little puppo.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Tentatively because I
hesitantly excited.
It's not a reboot, but it's a sequel series, and of course I have to be tentatively excited.
About everything in life. Yes.
Yeah. But I also just love Star Trek so fucking much.
Yeah, I love Star Trek. Yeah.
There's a video of me as a baby, which I don't think I've talked about on the podcast yet. Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about.
You can see the wheels turning. Where I was like, the video, and I was like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah. I'm in the bathtub, and my parents bought
It's so good.
They bought a. I'm like, I don't know, like
you're relatively
1 or 2,
young,
very very young. Not quite comfortable talking in front of the.
You've got to be like 2.
2. I guess I must be 2. Talking in front of the camera. There's an earlier baby video when my dad tries to make me recite the alphabet, and I completely ignore him. I want nothing to do with him. My parents bought me a bucket that had all of the characters from Star Trek The Next Generation on it, and I was playing with it in the bathtub, just like playing with the water, and I think it's my mom is filming me, and she comes up and she's like, who are those people? And I'm like pointing to the bucket, and she was like, yeah, who are they? And I go around and I start naming all of the characters to Star Trek The Next Generation. I'm like, that's Worf, Data, that's this person, that's Picard. I couldn't quite say all their names, obviously, and I couldn't say Riker at all, so I think it sounds like I'm saying Cracker. And at one point I just point to somebody, I'm like, who is that? Who is that?
Yeah, because that particular intonation of "who is that" was an in-joke in our friend group in high school. Who is that?
Who is that? Who is that? I didn't know.
Who was it? Was it Troy?
Fucking clue. I don't know. Some random person who was probably only on for a couple seasons. It may have been something like Pulaski or something. I don't know. They wouldn't have put Pulaski on a bucket. I don't know what I'm saying. Probably
no, it wasn't Troy, because I think you do say Troy.
Yeah, I'm like, I know who Troy is. Fuck off. Yeah.
Toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Star Trek a whole bunch.
We love... Your mom asked me earlier if I was a Trekkie, and I was like...
I was surprised by that. It's like, of course.
Ma'am.
I wouldn't...
Have you met me?
Yeah, I would not be showing this movie to you without context if you were not a Trekkie.
Do I not have, like, an untouchable air of the kind of nerd who would like Star Trek? I feel like I do, but I don't know. Maybe not.
I feel like it's an aura sometimes. You
just
know.
A cloud that follows me. Mm-hmm. I like anything that's got star in the first half, and it's a 2-word title.
Star.
Yeah.
Trek
War. Yeah. War's a rough one, man.
Is that the note that we're going to have to end this episode on?
Star. War Trek.
War Trek. Star, Trek War.
My OC. Star Trek War. Find me on Star Trek Online.
This is an interesting episode. Is there anything else that we want to say before we hop off this?
I don't think so.
Jump off this horse?
Oh, stop this train. This runaway train. No, I don't think so. Space is good.
Yeah, watch both these. I would recommend both of these movies.
I think Contact and First Contact was good, kind of 2 in a row, because like Contact for me was pretty heavy.
Yes.
And
certainly.
I cried a lot, and First Contact was a little bit more like actiony, so it was a nice like palate cleanser a little bit, but I still was like invested.
Yes.
So I think that was that was the way I did it. That's the way we did it, but you could do it either way.
That's what I planned it to, not just for that reason also, but partly because Contact was a bit longer, but also I was like, this movie makes me cry a lot, so we're gonna watch this one first.
And then I want to go hang out with my my
Star Trek
my
buddies.
Friends. Yeah,
my buddies in Starfleet.
My friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, Weiker. I said that briefly when Helena's parents were out of the room, and I killed us both with it.
This is terrible.
Borg. Anyway,
that's the end.
That's it. Bye. No. So thank you for hanging out with us here on Sneople at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check us out at infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot us an email at sneopleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo, who you can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter, and our super snazzy logo was designed by Bethany Leuthold. You can find her at bethanyleuthold.wixsite.com. That is Bethany leuthold.wix site.com. If you've got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you absolutely think we need to see, or admission letters for all of us for the Starfleet Academy, come say hello. Also, if you can, still, obviously, leave a review on iTunes, share the show around with anyone who you think would enjoy it. We're now a couple months out from 1 year anniversary, so we're kind of planning that episode extravaganza. It's been really cool seeing like the stats from like Spotify about like who's been listening to our show. We've got some like international listeners, which is really cool. But, you know, we still really appreciate if you know people who like movies or even just like listening to some friends talk. We really appreciate it. And like, come say hi to us.
Come say hi.
Come engage.
Engage.
Yeah, it's is this futile?
No.
No. You can do whatever you want, I guess. But we would appreciate it anyway. So, as always, thank you for listening, and we will see you at the movies.